welcome to another episode of the Total R&B podcast. My name is Loreena, and today I have another amazing guest. She is an amazing vocalist. Like her voice is just, I don't know, it goes to all different places, and it's a beautiful, beautiful voice. She's also a songwriter. You may have seen her and been a fan from seeing her on The Voice or The Four. Or you could have caught her while she was on tour with Usher or with Christina Aguilera. Welcome to the podcast, Ali Caldwell. How are
Welcome.
you?
I am great. I'm happy. I'm good. I'm hanging in there. Thank you for having me.
No, of course, thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I'm excited to talk to you because I discovered you on The Voice. And then I was so excited because I'm like a music nerd. So every time I like go to a
Same,
tour,
me too.
yeah, I love Usher, so I go to all of his tours. So I had to obviously travel to the US to see this last one, and I always want to know who the dancers are, who's the band, who's singing background. And then I realized you were one of the singers, so I was so excited for that for you. And now you have a new song that came out too.
Yes. Call Mind Reader. I'm really, really excited about it because it's the fire starter of everything else. You know what I mean? So my friends were asking me before I released it, like, so how do you feel? It's like an hour left before you drop this song. Like, how are you feeling? Because it's been a little in
Yeah.
between since the last time I dropped something because I have been traveling all over and thank God for that. It's an amazing thing to travel and to be gone from doing my own things and being home, get to have that personal time. But to be back to dropping new music is a very nerve wracking thing because, I do want to please my followers and fans who have been rocking with me for a long time. But I also want to please myself. So I feel like this music is very much so for me, but also very much for everyone else who can relate to the topics that I'm talking about in this new music.
Of
Yeah.
course. So, yes, usually I start off the podcast another way, but I definitely want to get into this song because I've been listening to it a lot. I just love the sound.
Yeah.
I know it was produced
Thank
by
you.
A Natural. Is that who the producer was?
Yes, shout out to A Natural. He is the producer and also co-writer as well, and he's amazing. He basically like my partner. We basically Timbaland Aaliyah this thing, with this new project, and we're each other's like right hand right now and creating what's going on. So shout out to him. He's amazing, amazing artist in his own right too as well.
Wow, okay. And for the song, like, did you get the beat first? Did you have like already in your head what you wanted to talk about? Like, how did it come together?
This is crazy because A Natural has been a songwriter for a very, very long time. Like we've been friends for a long time, but we've also been working together doing music things for a while. So when he found out that I was, looking for some new music, he had this song that has been sitting for some time. And when he heard that I was looking for something new, he thought about that song. And, he knows my voice. That's one of the main reasons why I love working with him because he really knows my voice. So he picked this song and was like, I think I have the perfect song for you. And he played it. And I was like, give it to me right now. He has a story behind it. And I always love for him to tell the story because, it intertwines, even better when you hear it coming from him. Apparently, he was in a writing camp and they were told that they were trying to write a song for Janet Jackson. So that was his song that he was trying to shop to Janet Jackson. And I don't know what happened in between, but I guess God saw fit for it to be for me. And I'm just really, really grateful for that. And grateful to him too for even thinking that, I can bring the song to life and put my little spin on it and put my sound on it. It's kind of a difference from the reference that he played compared to mine
Okay.
sound on it, and then that's when it became, my sound and my song.
Well, that is so dope. So I'm gonna have to try and get him on the show then so that I could hear his
Yes,
whole
yes, and
experience.
we can make that happen in no time. So yeah.
Well, I would love that because I love hearing how things come together.
Story. It's a whole story, and it's pretty interesting because people never know. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people think that everybody, I am a songwriter. I do write myself, and I have written a whole bunch of songs on this new project. These new projects that are coming up that I'm going to speak about. But yeah, he's amazing, and I love to, make sure I give the flowers to the people who I work with and make sure that people know everything that they've done and what they do and still doing right now. Yeah.
Okay, that is dope. This makes me excited because I really do like the track a lot. Like it has like a good feel. Like I don't know, it's like a good flow to it. And I know your voice, like you're a powerhouse, but on the song, like from time, like there's just, I don't know, there's like a really nice flow. It reminded me sometimes, I hate comparing to other singers, but it reminded me of something that could have been like on Brandy's like last album or something. Like just the way,
Yeah.
the flow of the song. So it was so good. Now that
Thank
I
you.
know that this is going to be a part of a project,
Yes.
what can we expect? Because your last project was 88, right?
My last project was 88, and that was some time ago, but this is a three-part series
Ooh.
project, which I know you heard the word the number three. So yes, this is three parts, meaning it's three EPs broken down, and that's gonna take you through the whole process all the way before the album comes out. So which is why I called it season finale, because the album is basically the wrap up of all of the episodes. The episodes are broken down in, like, episode one, episode two, and episode three, and then the album. So that's what I mean by three-part series. So it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be an eclectic like sound of different songs and different concepts that I'm talking about. I'm really getting deep in what I'm talking about. Not just talking about anything just because it sounds good. I'm really touching on some really strong points that can spark a conversation. Hence, like Mind Reader. Mind Reader is really one of those songs that it's for us grown people who are in relationships, who go through communication issues where one person may not know how to voice their feelings, and then you got the other person that's in the relationship with you, that's why they're there. So they're basically like, hey, talk to me, you could talk to me, you could trust me, because one thing I can't do is I can't read your mind and tell you what's wrong with you. So just these particular topics where I feel like it's very important for our generation, and even for the younger generation, where it's like kind of prepping them and kind of teaching them the importance of communication too as well. So yeah, I'm really excited for everything that's coming up. I'm really getting deep with this one. So yeah.
And will each part, like each EP, have a theme to it?
I'm trying, like, I'm still working on it right now. I want it to be themed. I feel like that's how it's happening naturally, which is a really good thing. So I do know that the album itself is definitely themed, but I feel like naturally, without me even trying, it's just happening that way, that it's fallen into theme. So I guess everybody will have to just see when it happens, because everything is growing and happening as it goes. To me, it's my favorite, because I feel like it's a little bit more organic and authentic that way. So when it happens naturally, and nobody's forcing anything, and as it happens, everybody's like, oh wow, look at this, and it's like, oh, we didn't even try, but look how it's happening. So yeah, I feel like everybody just have to like stay tuned and see how it comes out, because it's a lot coming, but I feel like it's all happening the way it's supposed to happen. And once it's ready for everybody, then I feel like everybody's gonna get it.
Okay. But I think that's the best way to go about it because a lot of times people feel pressured
Yeah.
to do what their last album did or keep the same type of like flow or concepts and stuff like that because
Yeah.
I don't know, they think about it too much, they overthink, and then they're not that happy with the outcome. So I'm all
Absolutely.
good when artists take their time and
Yeah, absolutely. This season for me is all about building my catalog, because the beginning of my singing career was kind of like busy, where I really, which is a good thing. I feel like it just took off where I was just doing a lot of traveling more than anything, where I had a lot of free time to, do more music. So I love touring the world. I love, singing with these huge name artists and amazing artists who I respect and grew up on, like I love doing that. But also when it's time for me to have my own time and, focus on my own music and, my own personal life, like that's when things get like real, where I really get to like ball down and be like, okay, girl, now you have the time. Especially when the tour was over with Usher, it's like I had all of the time in the world. So now I'm like, okay, now I can really focus on locking down and really putting out a really great body of work that I'm proud of and that I feel like, my followers and my fans and supporters will be proud of too.
Okay. Well, let's take it back to kind of where it started. So normally when I do start the podcast, I always ask that same first question, which is what comes to mind when I say, what is your first memory of R&B music?
My first memory of R&B music. Wow, that's a great question.
Like what pops into your head at that moment?
My first memory of R&B music, I would have to say, because I'm a church baby, I grew up in church. My mom is a minister of music, she's a musician. So the things that we would listen to in the car would only be gospel or smooth jazz.
Okay.
Smooth jazz, as they would say, right? Smooth jazz fell under such a wide umbrella. It was like I would hear some Kenny G, I would hear some instrumentals that was just music, with the musicians, and then they'll sneak in some Anita Baker, and I would be like, "Wait a minute, hold on, who's this voice? Like, who's this lady?" Like, it made me feel something that I've never felt before. So it would be voices like Anita Baker that I would hear at a young age that pinpointed what R&B was to me, almost like R&B soul,
Yeah.
almost. So like Anita Baker, Shaka Khan, uh, Aretha Franklin. To be honest, like, and this may be a little left field, but like Gloria Estefan, she's not R&B, but I feel like she fell in the like they would play her on like a jazz station that I would be listening to. So I think my first memory would have to be in the car as a young girl, where my mom would be going from station to station, which would be like smooth jazz, 98.7, and all like the gospel channels.
No, I feel that because my grandmother used to live in the US. So when we would visit her in the summer, one thing
Hmm.
she's gonna have on is that smooth jazz.
Yes. And it's safe. It's safe. It's for the super hardcore Christians and like really like I'm about God and God only. Like I love that for them. But however, like what they're gonna listen to is only gonna be gospel and very safe music, where if it's a love song, like you won't really kind of know that it's a love song, but it's still a love song.
Yeah.
So it's always been the safe songs that I would hear as a young girl, like in the car rides, where it's like, is this R&B or is this gospel? And sometimes gospel artists back then will be very sneaky, but yet like a good sneaky, where they would put some sounds and inspiration of R&B music in their songs. So I would feel like I'm listening to an R&B song when in actual reality it's a gospel song. It varies for me. Like I have a lot of memories, so many memories.
Yeah, no,
Really.
that's true. Because I remember being a kid, like listening to like CC and BB Winans, and
Exactly.
I didn't know it was a gospel song, but
Exactly,
it was.
exactly. I'm lost without you. Like those, it's like to me that sounds like a love song. But
Yeah.
if you really break down the lyrics and think about who's singing it, it's like okay, they were very, very strategic and very smart on how they wrote that song
Mhm.
and how they attacked it. It's just very much like people can really you can look at it as a love song, but you also can look at it as they're talking to, you know, they're talking to God. So either or, it's like wow, like it's very wow
Yeah.
as a songwriter and as a creator, like very smart,
No, it
super.
is definitely. And so then as you got older and maybe on your own, or I don't know if you were sneaking in music, but to listen to more like R&B,
Hmm.
who are the artists that you listen to that really would say you maybe shaped your voice after?
Okay, so when I was in middle school, I was in my first girl group and we had a talent show. And around that time, Destiny's Child was popping and hot and no, no, no first, came out and Bills, Bills, Bills and writings on the wall, like all of that stuff was like hot at that time. So I think I would have to say definitely Destiny's Child, Beyonce, Brandy, of course. Tony Braxton. I was a huge, believe it or not, I was a really huge fan of listening to her a lot too. Nivea, I was listening to a lot.
I love that nobody ever mentions Nivea.
That album, I'm trying to think of the name of it, but she was like sitting up. She had her hair was like in these like
With the
two
spike?
ponies with the spikes, yeah, and she had like the style was perfect. The I can't think of the, but it had laundromat on there. Her big single laundromat was on there, and I would listen to that like back to back. Yeah, those are some.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of R&B artists in that era that I'm sure I listened to on repeat that has a lot of, you know, shaping when it comes to me. Like already know, but I just can't think of all of them right now. But those are some that I named.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely those artists that you did name, especially like a Beyonce or Brandy,
Yeah.
they've
Those are
done.
like those are like my top two favorite that are like my biggest inspiration that, I know growing up as an artist and kind of, forming into the artist that I am today in the very beginning. That was like you can tell that's all that I pulled from because they
Mhm.
were all that I watched. They were like the two of the biggest, most talented women that I've ever heard. So I definitely wanted to, pattern my career after such greatness. So I would watch them all the time. I would listen to them all the time. And I would try my best to be inspired, take a little bit from them and add it to mine, and then kind of just like put my twist on it. And yeah, I was just really grabbing from a lot of people that I really, really loved and respected and just kind of tried to make it my own and put it in my own sound. I always tell my friends, like, I'm a student of the greats.
Mhm.
So to me, that's like, it's almost like school. Like if you listen to all of your favorite vocalists for years and years and years back to back to back, it's like you're taking a class. And it's like at the end of this class, when you graduate, you're graduating with a piece of something that you took from each artist and basically did your own summary from it. And the summary from it is what the people hear from you, your voice that you created by studying. So that's what I tell my friends all the time. And that's basically how I feel like I got my sound and how it grew into what it is right now.
I'm
Yeah.
so happy you said that because I feel like maybe it's just an assumption, but I just feel like people are not studying.
No, I don't think they are. I feel like there was a time where artists were studying, but then there's a difference between singers that are artists and artists that are artists, like if you know what I mean. So I think a different type of work ethic and a different type of hunger and just a different type of how we create period is there's I think though that's what you're talking about when you're like the people don't study anymore. I think it's the ones who just want everything to come to them so easy and they want everybody else to give them what an artist should be
Yeah.
rather than showing the people who they are as an artist and kind of like building that themselves. So that is the sad part, but we're still out here. We still study even in the moment of where my career is right now. I
Mhm.
still study. I still watch Beyonce. I still watch Brandy. I still watch all of the greats from back in the day. Some of them are not with us anymore, but that doesn't mean anything because their legacy have lived on where we can go on a television and actually sit and lock in and see the do's and don'ts, as a big icon artist, what they did and what they didn't do. And to me, that's the studying part that's missing,
Mhm.
where you take that time out, that free time, and actually like do some work and study how they became, one of the biggest names in the industry. So I still do it right now to this day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that's what separates, like you said, the
Yeah.
singers and then just the artists that want to be artists. Yeah, definitely. You mentioned that in high school you were in a girl group, and I did read that you had a girl group called, I think, Exhale.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yep. That
so
was the name.
you had a lot of different roles, like being a solo artist, a
Hmm.
background singer. You were also in a girl group. So,
Hmm.
how was that experience being in a girl group? Because we don't even have really those anymore.
I mean, we have some, and I know some personally that are in a girl group right now.
Okay.
It's not as dominant as it was back in the girl group era time. But being in a girl group to me was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. And when I was in Exhale, I actually was in a group with two other girls. and one of them became my best friend, and she is my best friend to this day. So we were very, very close. We were very successful as, unsigned as an unsigned girl group. We got opportunities to open up for Boys to Men for Patti LaBelle in Harlem. There was like this really huge show, really big stage, and some way, somehow, because we were actually being shopped around a lot. We had a lot of label meetings. We were performing a lot. We were doing so much to be unsigned and so young. So, and I think we were rehearsing like almost every day. I was still in school when this was happening, so it was a lot to balance, and it would be a lot for my mom to have to deal with too, and try to accept.
Yeah.
Because then too, I was still going to church. Like I had Bible study nights where it was like my mom wanted me in church, but instead of doing church, I had to be in a rehearsal because had to perform for Patty. So it was
Yeah.
like, listen, I love you, Jesus, but I got rehearsal for Patty. But like these are the things that, I had to juggle at such a young age. Yeah, I loved every bit of being in a girl group. I was actually in a Exhale went through two different phases. So we went through like changing of, the members. Yeah, and it was a time. It really was a time. I felt like it really helped, it shaped me into, I feel like that was like my artist development, if that makes any sense,
Yeah.
because I never really had professional artist development. Like I've never had that. I just feel like everything that we went through as a girl group, and how like they really cracked the whip when it came to us being sharp vocally with no music, like singing, dancing, like all of that stuff, and rehearsing almost every single day. Yeah, it was like boot camp, so but it was fun because we were friends, and
Okay.
we all loved each other. So it was a beautiful experience. It made me, I feel like it shaped and molded me into being a people's person too, and like
Okay.
learning to get along with people. And because I'm a Cancer too, so it's not that hard. But
Yeah, you guys are very social.
yes, I'm very social, but I'm also big on energy too. So if
Yeah.
the energy is a little weird in the room, then I won't be so social anymore.
Yeah, but that's good to have that like instinct or discernment to know not to gravitate to certain people.
Yeah.
I find that's really important, especially in the industry that you're in.
My grandmother always taught me, even if you feel like a negative energy in a room, she's like, always lead with love,
Mhm.
always move with your heart. Like, no matter if it's a negative energy toward you, toward anybody else in the room, sometimes like your heart and like how you just decide to be like a beam of light can shift the whole energy in the room sometimes. I just try to, always keep her voice in my head, like in any circumstances like that. So where I'm just like, okay, I feel it, but I also have the power to shift it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah, don't let their energy control you or change your day.
exactly, exactly, absolutely.
Very wise. I love that. And I love that you got to learn all that stuff while in that era of being in a girl groups. That's something that I miss. So I do have to always like look for like I know like maybe two or three girl groups that are out now,
Hmm.
but I feel like there were so many before,
It was so
especially in the
many. It was so
90s.
many, and it's not that many in the genre of R&B. It's probably like a good handful of good girl groups that are like, in the genre of R&B that are like killing it that we know of, because it could be some that's in different countries that we don't even know about that's killing it. So that's something like that we know of.
Yeah,
They're definitely out there killing it, the ones that I do know of. Yeah.
no, definitely. And so I also read that while performing in New York, Tyler Perry was at one of your shows.
Well, this wasn't particularly my show, but this was a very legendary place called Village Underground.
Okay.
And it was in the village in the city, and I would go there every Sunday and perform because it was a really well-known open mic where any and everybody would show up, all types of different celebrities, your best singers from here, there, everywhere. It was like the place. Like you could ask any singer about the Village Underground. If they don't know about it, then I'm sorry, but majority of them do know about it. It was like the spot. Yeah, so it was one Sunday, and the host of the show. His name is Ron Grant. He passed away. May he rest in peace. He was like literally one of my favorites, but he passed away. But that particular night, he knew that it was celebrities in the building, but I had no idea that it was celebrities in the building. I didn't see him or the other celebrities because of where I was sitting. But he knew who was in there, and he called me up to sing, and he told me what song to sing, which he never does that. He actually picked a song that's one of his favorites that he knows that I'm going to like do well.
Okay.
So he picked One Plus One by Beyonce.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and I did that song, and Tyler Perry was there, and I didn't even know that he was there until I actually looked out and they like shined the light on his table, and I was like, and then after I right after I finished recording, he came up on the stage and he did like this big speech about, just how he loves how artists are just like, coming to places like this and sharpening their gift. It's not a judgmental place and just telling us to keep going. Very much a very encouraging random speech that happened. And yeah, he kind of the fire was already lit under us, but just hearing something like that from somebody like, Tyler Perry was like really, really good for us singers in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I woke up the next morning and my phone was going crazy and I didn't know what was happening. So yeah, I got a message and they were like, Tyler Perry just posted you singing. And I was like, what? Yeah, and that was that. And that went viral and that went crazy. And ever since then, I was just always trying to get his attention to, if you need a little singer in your movie or your little set, I don't know what I gotta do. I don't know. Maybe I gotta become a big TikToker or something like that to get his attention. But still to this day, I'm trying to get Tyler to hit me up, call me.
I think I think you should add it into like when you start promoting your album, like put a little campaign in for Tyler Perry. Let us tag him.
Yes, I should, right?
Yeah,
Because I am starting to, get into my little acting bags. Maybe in my little thing when I'm shooting, while I'm acting, I could probably try to, tell everybody to tag him or something, or do something subliminal where
yeah,
he knows I'm trying to get his attention.
yeah.
But he's one of the people that I really, really want to work with for sure. So yeah, hopefully,
I'm
hopefully
gonna
that's
just I'm just
the
gonna
best
say
time.
it is
It
gonna
got to.
happen. We're not gonna say hopefully, it is gonna happen. So whatever you and your team decide to do, let us know because we are going to be helping in any way that we can. Because I think that
Okay.
would be so dope if I see a preview for the next Tyler Perry film on Netflix, and then I see Allie's face pop up. I'm gonna be like, "We did it!"
Even if it's just a little club moment, you need a singer, and they're
Yeah.
like, call me. I'll let everybody know everybody's gonna know when it happens.
No, definitely. We gotta know. I do want to touch on the singing competition shows. I don't want to stay on it for too long, but
Mhm.
I just think it's just interesting now, especially since we had that documentary on America's Next Top Model. I think
Yeah.
people are just realizing that these shows are not always what it seems to be, so I just wanted to know for you, like going into those shows, those singing competition shows, like what was your goal with them and what was your mindset going in and then also leaving?
Well, my very first experience, which was The Voice, um, I actually had no expectations going in because it was my first time ever doing something like that. So I was going in blind, if that made any sense. Like I was going in open, I was going in blind, I was going in like whatever happens, I'm just gonna basically only thing that I knew for sure, I knew that every time that it was my turn to step on the stage and perform and share my passion, that I was going to perform like it was my last time ever performing. Like that was the only thing I knew. Everything else outside of that, I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what was coming with it. I had no idea that I was going to end up being friends with Miley Cyrus. Like I had no idea that she was going to be like, okay, everything that she wears is going to be custom made from here on out. Like I didn't know any of these things were going to happen. So I didn't know how to handle it, so I was just taking it as as the days were coming to me. But
Yeah.
I will say that now that I have experienced both, That it's definitely, I feel like those shows, you definitely have to be cut from a different cloth to be able to handle what comes with it, because a lot of people go in really hoping that they are going to be the winner.
Mhm.
But I can honestly say that I went in, like I said before, with no expectations. I didn't go in thinking like, oh, I'm about to win this show. Not 1 ounce of me felt that. I feel like 90% of the contestants do come in like, I'm going to win this show. And I feel like if I had to say anything to anybody that's, in this process of doing a singing competition show, it would just be to go in and do what it is that God has given you to do. Like, showcase your gift. Do it like it's your last time doing it. Everything else, like, don't even think about it, because the more you think about everything else, the more it's going to throw you off of your focus of
Mhm.
your reason for even being on that platform, and sharing your gift with the world. So it's a lot behind the scenes, but to stay focused, I would just say to just, stay centered, and, just remember what you came on that platform for. And the number one thing is to stay on as long as you possibly can. Like,
Yeah.
just stay on. Like, don't even think about winning. Just stay on as long as you possibly can. Take notes from your last performance. Watch yourself. Always watch yourself. That's what I always tell everybody. Even if you have to go on YouTube and pull up, because that's what I was doing in that moment, in that process.
Mm.
I was by myself, watching myself on TV in my hotel room. I didn't have family around me. I didn't have anybody around me to critique anything with me. It was just me watching me hours, after I
Later, yeah.
did the performance, on national television. And I would just like watch and, look at myself and see how it made me feel, and basically critique myself and learn from what I did. Maybe I see something that I wouldn't do before, wouldn't do next time, or something that I did where I'm like, oh, maybe I should keep that up and make that a thing. Also, just different things like that, because at the end of the day, the world is watching you, and coming on this platform saying that you're an artist and this is what you love to do. Like, the people have to see
Yeah.
that you're an artist and this is what you love to do. Like, I don't think they want to see anybody that's, coming on a platform where, they can hold a note, but they want everybody else to make them into an artist. I don't think that's the thing. But yeah, just, stay centered and always remember what you're doing it for. That's really the thing that I can say about it.
No,
Yeah.
it's really good advice because I've spoken to a few people that were on different singing competition shows, whether in the US
Hmm.
or here in Canada. And
Hmm.
for some, like a lot of them said that the experience was not what they thought it was going to be. Some of them had like a really bad experience that kind of had them questioning, like, is this what I should really be doing? So
Yeah.
I think what you said, I think it would be really helpful for people that are thinking about going on these types of shows because I think it's really important to have your mindset right and then also to try and stay on as long as you can and really learn from the experience. Yeah.
I feel like my answer that I gave you was like the PG version, because I try to watch what I say, only because I know there's people that are gearing up to, go do their audition, or gearing up to about to do the lives where they're about to be viewed by millions and millions of people. So I try to be very careful of, how I describe my experience, because my experience was my experience. And in the moments when it happened, my answer may have been very, 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 very differently. But because I have grown, from that, and it's a little while after that, happening, I kind of look at it a little bit differently. And, that's why I explain it a little bit differently, where it doesn't taint the people's view
Yeah.
of what they're about to do before they, go do it. So, because I don't want to, ruin their experience
Hmm.
before they do it. So that's why I always give the most positive feedback, where it's like, look, everything is crazy behind the scenes. That's nice, right? That's
Yeah.
not me really saying nothing crazy, but it's also me being truthful. It's really crazy behind the scenes. So the most important thing is to stay centered and to remember who you are, and remember why they even called you in the first place to even be on this show. Because obviously, you are somebody special. You are great at what you do. So remember that. Just keep growing in it, and Yeah, and then let it take you from there. Yeah.
Well, me as a viewer, I gave up on those shows.
Well, me too, but for for the right person, I tune in. Sometimes
Yeah,
I would get a call. I honestly, my father and my mom, they still watch The Voice and America's Got Talent, all of the singing competition shows, like to this day. And they always call me. They're like, "Did you see such and such? Are you watching the new season?" And I'm like, "Daddy, you know I have not watched this. I haven't watched it since I've been off it, to be honest."
yeah,
Because, like I said, my experience was my experience. And I used to watch it back to back all the time before my experience. But now that I've been a part of the experience, it's like, you know,
yeah.
I just feel like watching it will just bring me back to a place that that I feel like I've grown from.
Hmm.
And I don't like to like stay or waddle in like certain eras of life that were already over, that I already overcame. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Because even like for me, like as a viewer, I just didn't find certain things to be fair, like just seeing certain things. But
Mhm.
the great thing about social media is that they do have the clips, so you do come across sometimes certain performances.
Some of them, the show has taken down a lot of performance clips that I don't know why,
Hmm.
but even in that, it's like, it
Yeah.
is. So, yeah. It's a lot of things that are like, not fair, but life is not fair. So, which is why I say whoever decides to take that journey definitely has to be, have to have thick skin because a lot comes with it. So,
And moving from doing those shows because it gave a lot of fans. Like you were out there, a lot of people became fans of your voice, fans of who you are. So how does that translate? Like because a lot of times I find with artists now, I think community is such a big thing to
yes,
just
it
create that community with your fans. So
is.
how do you create community with your fans? Like how did you keep them, well, keep us, me included,
Hmm.
for us to stay with you on this journey, to continue to follow you, to continue to listen to your music or purchase and all those things?
I think my thing is because I'm still working on trying to find that it thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's that easy as people think that it is, but
No.
I know that I have been for years I have been giving my all and trying my best to make sure I keep everybody along with me, on this journey, on this ride, even years later, everything that, I get my hands in, whatever I'm a part of, the next opportunity after the next, I just make sure I bring everybody in so everybody know what's happening, what's happening with me. So yeah, I think just keeping everybody up to date on what's going on, and I can always be better with that. I'm always growing and, trying to be like the people on TikTok where they're just like the best at, bringing in their people and growing their numbers and everything like that. And like I said, I'm just a regular artist person who, God gave me a gift. I've been singing all my life. Like I'm not like the perfect person to try to grow like these huge numbers or everything. The only thing that I could say is I really try my best to keep my people up to date on what's going on. Everything that I do, I always think about the people who support me, like always, because without supporters and without people to buy your music and to, view your videos, without that, there would be no artistry, there would be me. So I'm doing the best that I can still. And yeah, always including everybody and, who rocks with me, always including them in everything I do. Yeah.
No, but I find it so hard now for artists because social media is time consuming. Like, even for me, I did social media management to the point where I would just throw my phone. Like, I didn't even want to check my own social media. Like, I don't post for myself because,
It's a job. It's a job. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot. So, for you, you're an independent artist. So, that, like, one person, a small team. So, I know it's a lot to do all the social media stuff that people expect you to do or want you to do.
Yeah.
If ever there was like an offer that came to you with like a major label, would that be something you would consider or you would just want to stay independent?
Yeah, I would definitely consider it. There's been a lot of time that was put into growing, you know, myself as an artist. I didn't want to speak about me in third person. That's what I was about to say. It's been a long time growing Ali Caldwell. Like I didn't want to say that, but I think you get the point.
Yeah.
Like it's been a long time, with just me and my team, me and my manager, and in the little circle that we have. It's
Mhm.
been us for years, growing this brand. So, absolutely. I mean, if it made sense, and, as long as the people who were there from the beginning can stay on, because, that's the thing that comes with sometimes doing, collabing with major artists, major labels. Sometimes they'll ask you to get rid of your whole team or get rid of your management or get rid of this or get rid of that, just so they can help you build a whole team and start over. And that one thing is something that I'm totally against. But if it was a thing where, the people saw the work, they saw the work that was put in, and they like and see what's going on, what we've built, the business behind it. Yeah, I would totally be down. I'm never against it. If it makes sense, I'm like, let's do it. Yeah.
And speaking of your team, like how did you find your team? Like for instance, your manager that you said that you've been
Mhm.
working with for a very long time. I know a lot of artists have trouble finding a good manager. So how did you find your manager?
So I was introduced to my manager over 13 years ago, and we met at a studio because my friend was bringing me to the studio to work out of that studio, and my manager was the owner of that studio. So we met, and I was doing all of my work out of that studio, and we got really, really close. And he ended up being the only one to like record all of my sessions, and yeah, it was just a lock in moment. And like I said, that was over 13 years ago. So yeah, it was really through a mutual friend that really locked us in, and we kind of been like inseparable ever since. So yeah.
Well, that's really good because some people have horror stories. Some people
Yes.
had to go through a lot to find like that one person that really understood them. And
I already know that that can be a headache,
yeah,
and I am just so glad that God looked out for me in
yeah,
the area because I have no issues in that area. It's so seamless, it's so peaceful. And I think what how it really works out for me is my manager was also an artist at one point in time, so he knows the ins and outs about the industry, and he also knows a lot of people in the industry. I think it's bigger than just being a manager. I think the time that was spent together makes him look out more for my best interests. Also, it's not just about, having a manager so they could handle your business. Like
hmm,
people have to make sure that their manager actually likes them as a person, actually supports them as an artist, actually believes in them as an artist. And also it's that's also a fan. Like your manager has to be a fan.
yeah,
It's not always business because how are they going to do business for you if they don't really like you as a person or if they don't
exactly.
believe in you and what you're doing. So I think that's very important, and I think that's what makes it so easy, on my end because we are very close. We like each other as people, and yeah, it's very seamless. I'm very blessed in that area. I might say that, yeah, for
Yeah, no,
sure.
that's beautiful, especially for 13 years. That's
Yeah,
really good. I've never heard of
um,
that.
a long time and a very successful journey. I will say for us to still be independent.
Hmm.
Very, very proud of, the moves that we've made, how we handle our business. Yeah, everything is just really, really, it's beautiful. I have no complaints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's amazing. Another thing I wanted to touch on really quickly was you on tour with Usher.
Hmm.
You went all over the world singing with Usher. It was an amazing tour with like different guests. I think almost every show it felt like.
Yes. Almost every show. I think we counted the special guests that came out and it was almost close to 100.
Wow.
It was crazy. And then a lot of these times we had to learn, because they would find out that he has BGBs and they would be like, okay, well, yeah, I want them to sing the song. And we would get the song maybe like a day before they come, which for us, we will have to find the moment in our rehearsal to go over the special guest song too as well. And we will sometimes come up with our own arrangements, and just like how we do, with Usher, like he's always in our rehearsals and our vocal rehearsals, and he always loves to hear what we come up with. Like he gives us the freedom to basically come up with our own vocal arrangements. And he'll come in, he'll be like, "Let me hear what you got," and we'll sing it, and he'll be like, "That's it. All right, like it." So it basically was the same thing with the special guests. Like they'll come in, they'll do their sound check,
Hmm.
and we'll start singing their song with them. And I want to say maybe 90% of them will always come on our side and be like, "Wow, like I wish my original song had y'all on it." So to hear that, we were always very proud and very, pleased to even get that, because a lot of people don't have to say anything to you, so the fact that they do make it, they make their way over to us to, say that means a lot to us. So yeah.
No, that's so cool to have all those people to just recognize your work,
Mhm.
especially with you three coming up with your own like way to represent like on that
Yeah.
song. I think that's so cool.
And also not forgetting that we're also fans. So you gotta think about it this way. Sometimes we don't find out who the special guest is until the day of, or the day before. So as fans, we have to compose ourselves and get in the professional bag and do our job, and while also still on the inside freaking out because the special guests were like insane. It was
Hmm.
out of control, and we were like, "How are we going to sing and look at who's on the stage at the same time? Like, how are we going to do that?" So, yeah, it was. I'm very proud of us. Like, we did that. We really did that. Yeah,
No, definitely. That show was just amazing. Like, I
it
feel
was.
like Usher always tops himself like with each tour that he's done. I think the first tour that I saw was the Confessions tour. So
Hmm.
to go from that to the past, present, future, like
Hmm.
crazy. So you guys all did a really amazing job. Like that was such a good show. So,
Thank you. It was so much fun to be a part of, and I understand that he made history, with that tour, and it was just a privilege to be a part of it.
and is there something that you like really learned about maybe you as an artist while doing that tour?
Yeah, stamina. Anytime I do a long tour, it's always stamina for me. I will say, when I did the Christina Aguilera tour, I thought it was going to be the easiest tour in the world. And then I get to rehearsals, and the musical director, Rob Lewis, basically cracked the whip over us and blew my whole entire mind. I thought it was going to be easy, but it's like, no, this is Christina Aguilera. You got to like sing from your chest, you got to sing from here, from your diaphragm. Everything is, it's not an easy gig, it's not a walk in the park. And then I thought the same thing for, actually, when I got the call for Usher, I thought, oh my god, I get to finally relax. It's not like like a vocal demand, like how a
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera tour is. So I'm like, oh, I get to relax. And then they first called me and asked me to do alto, which everybody knows that I'm a soprano, but I can do all of them. I can do alto, tenor, soprano, whatever you need me to do, I can do it. But I was asked to do alto at first. And then one of the other girls, my friend Kimberly, who I sing background with, she found out that I was doing the gig, and she said, "Oh, absolutely not. You're taking soprano and I'm doing alto." And I was
Okay.
like, I thought I was going to be able to do the tour. Just chilling. It's a chill. All the alto parts on Usher's music, it has got to be the most easiest thing in the world. So that's why I was like, this is about to be a piece of cake. But yeah, his songs, those backgrounds, those are also no walk in the park. It's not easy. It may seem easy,
Yeah.
but yeah, everything, like when you have to like really like narrow everything down, like all of the parts, and isolate the parts and really listen to everything, that's when you start to see how it's not a game. So yeah. It's,
Yeah, I always find like knowing like people that can sing and that they've done backgrounds. I always
mhm.
find like it's not easy to do backgrounds. Like obviously everyone's focused on the lead singer or whoever it
Yeah,
is. But yeah, to have backgrounds, to mesh with other people,
absolutely.
it's yeah, definitely not an easy thing. We were just talking about backgrounds for Usher.
Yeah.
Your alto got taken away.
Yeah. So I ended up doing soprano, and my girl took the alto. Um, yeah. And then things. It was that. I was that for the whole entire tour and for every show that I've done with Usher. And I don't regret. I love it, because it's still chill. Nothing compares to a Christina Aguilera gig. I would say that. Now, it's always a situation where, like, I was asked which gig is more demanding as far as like work and time and hard on your voice and everything like that. I would definitely have to say Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have a favorite memory from one of your tours that you went on?
Favorite memory?
I know it's probably a lot of dates, a lot of stuff happened.
I have so many. That's the thing. I have so many. I would have to say London.
Okay.
London, only because we were there in London for a month. So we stayed in London for a month. Like we did a lot of shows at the arena, at the O2 Arena. So yeah, I would have to say London because we basically kind of semi lived there in that
Mhm.
moment. And all of the shows were just so amazing because he had back to back shows there in the same arena. It was always sold out and packed. So yeah, I would just have to say that whole experience of being stable in London for a while. That had to have been very much like the more memorable moment of the tour for me.
Yeah.
Although we've hit a lot of places, like Amsterdam was a favorite, Berlin was a favorite. It was so many favorites. Abu Dhabi was very unexpected, very amazing. Jeddah was amazing. I've never been to any of these places. I've never been to Abu Dhabi or Jeddah, Dubai. Like I've never. It was my first time being there. Yeah, it was an experience. So it was like work and pleasure almost.
Yeah. Oh, but that's really cool because I know too, like with tours, like you're in a city every day almost. So you don't really get to see the city, but then to be
Exactly.
stationed somewhere for a month, you really get to see, the city where you're performing. So that's so
Which
cool.
which is why we try to make it our business to get up early on those off days so we can like really take advantage of the day and go sightseeing and just do regular people stuff,
Yeah,
so, being an Usher BGB.
I love that. All right, so we gotta listen to Mind Reader because it's out now.
Stream. Actually, you can buy this. So, okay, so you can buy mind readers too as well. On a daily, I'll always post this link. I have a Bandcamp link on my story
Okay.
that people can click on and actually purchase mind reader. And on that button, it says, the price or more. So basically, you can pay what you want. And this is for my, supporters and fans and people who have been rocking with me for a while if they want to do more than just streaming, because if people know and they know the knowledge with what's going on in the industry, just streaming music is just not, it's cool, but if you really want to show your support for artists who work hard and creating the music for the fan base and for the world, I think purchasing is like the new thing. It should have been the thing, but it's available for purchase on my Bandcamp link, and as well as everything else. I have like all of my merch and it's like whatever's coming up next always keeps you updated on my Bandcamp link. So that'll be on my story. So make sure everybody knows that too as well.
Okay, so we gotta go to Bandcamp. We gotta make some purchases because yeah, streaming is a mess.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's nice to see the streaming numbers. It is. But at the end of the day, we like to see the other numbers too.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. And then another thing is too, like I love having like a CD or a vinyl because I like looking at credits.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the streaming sites don't always have the credits or it's not fully there, so I just get frustrated. Then I had signed up for Apple Music and then at one point it wasn't working, so I was like, "So now you're just gonna take my money?" So it was a whole
It's a lot. Like I
thing.
think all of us artists are really doing a good job by coming together as a force and just like reminding the people, number one, why we do this and the importance of everyone's support and how important that is to feel and see the support. It's great to feel the support,
Mhm.
but to actually see it, like those numbers, to see the support is different. And honestly, that's what allows us to keep going. That's what allows us to keep giving and to keep having something else and something more after, back to back. It allows us to keep creating,
Yeah.
as artists. So I think it's very important, and I love that all of us artists are coming together and speaking more on that,
Hmm.
because before it was like a little like a secret, or almost like you were forbidden to speak about people actually buying, your music, or buying, your single, or whatever you're putting out, merch, or whatever the case is. A lot of people never really talked about that. I don't know why, but now I feel like it's a thing, and especially with everything that's going on with the labels and everybody turning independent. So yeah, I'm gonna always make sure I mention that, because it's very important, and it's not nothing to be ashamed of. It's like, hey, I just made this whole album, or I just made this whole project, and I just made these new songs, and I want to put it out for you guys to purchase, just like how they did back in the days where people wanted their songs. They went to these stores to actually buy the music. So I'm down with bringing those times in that era back, because that's also what's missing for us in this industry too as well.
No, definitely. Like I remember as a kid, I used to spend hours in like an HMV or a Music World, just
Just browsing through the
yeah, and finding different things and yeah, looking
hmm
for like different artists and stuff like that. But I think it's coming back. Like I know someone that does, he has like a whole channel where he does vinyl search and he's always looking for R&B and hip hop records to purchase. So there's so many vinyl collectors now and there's so
hmm
many people looking to purchase CDs. So I think that whole era is coming back. And even for me, being able to have this platform, I get to ask people, what's the best way to support you? Because I heard like I would hear always the numbers for the streaming platforms, like what they're paying out to an artist. So I'm just like, well,
yeah,
that's not a livable wage, you know?
it's really not. So I'm on it too, just as well as everybody else, to remind everybody, and our duty is to just keep making sure we're posting the links and posting what we have to post, so that people can see exactly where they can go to purchase. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we got to do.
So for you, Bandcamp, for now, until we get more music that comes out, and then we'll be able to purchase more, the whole EP and then the whole project all together, merch as well. Let everybody know where we can follow you too online.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody can follow me on all things Ali Caldwell Music. On Instagram, I am Ali Caldwell. I'm back on TikTok now, y'all. So I am back on TikTok. It's the Ali Caldwell. Facebook, I'm Ali Caldwell Music. YouTube, I'm Ali Caldwell Music. Which, stay tuned for all of these platforms, because with this 3-part project that I have coming, there's a lot, and I just want to give everybody a heads up. It's about to be a lot. That's a good thing.
Mhm.
But I just want to, give everybody a heads up to just be prepared, because a lot will start, coming back to back. Because like I said, it's a long process of time, full of work. So I'm excited to release all of this and all of the visuals and everything new, so everybody can see how hard I've been working. And yeah, and I hope everybody likes it when they see it. I'm really excited.
Definitely. And we have to look out for the Tyler Perry movie that's coming out with Ali Caldwell in it. That's also
We're
coming out.
claiming it. We're
Yes,
claiming it, and we're speaking it, and I receive it. So yeah.
definitely. So this is a perfect time if you are just discovering who she is to follow now because there's so much that's gonna
Please.
come.
There's so much.
So I'm so excited and I want to thank you again for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I really do appreciate this. So this is
Thank you
really
for
special
having
to me.
me.
Of
This
course.
was a really fun conversation. I love when I'm doing interviews and I forget that it's an interview. So kudos to you and thank you. So
Thank you so much. Now I just need to get to the US again. So when you do start performing live,
you
I
can
can
come
definitely
and make
see you.
sure that you're in the front row. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So exciting. Well, thank you so much. And everybody that's listening and watching, this is the Total R&B podcast. My name is Loreena. You can find us online on Instagram, sometimes TikTok, and YouTube at total.rnb or Total R&B podcast. And I will be back with a brand new interview.